project working title is much shorter than earlier projected. We're just calling it the Phase 2 Blue Carbon Project, switch. Context here is that this is done by the Pacific Northwest Blue Carbon Working Group, which is a collaboration, a bunch of intended users, end users working on a management need identified back in 2015 related to the methodology that was developed for a carbon finance project switch. And we realized that in the Northwest, to do what we wanted to do here, to achieve our goals, to use blue carbon to help address issues in the Northwest related to climate change, we have a bunch of data gaps here. So we can't really get very far using national averages, et cetera. So we needed regional data, site-specific data. And also we wanted to collaborate as we do this so we don't fall all over each other, competing for the same funding sources. Switch. And so we've done a bunch of projects. The first one established to fill those data gaps, and those data gaps in the big bins are relate to carbon stocks, carbon sequestration rates, and emissions coming from tidal wetlands. So we get started with carbon stocks first, and importantly, with that project, we established the Northwest Blue Carbon database, and we've done projects since and are still doing projects. Each one builds on the previous project, and now we are talking about filling sort of the last two data gaps. Switch. And as you can see in the green box here, we have a lot of people. It's not just Jude and myself doing this. Sean is part of this as well from South Slough. Our objectives are, as mentioned, really to dig in on collecting new data for greenhouse gas emissions and carbon sequestration rates. Importantly, connecting those data to what we're calling ecosystem drivers, so that's salinity, water level, et cetera, so we can interpret those data and end users can use them. Developing basically a carbon budget for sites, and we're working in least disturbed ag sites, converted ag sites, and restored sites. Excuse me. And then we want to expand the database with all these data. So where are we going with this? We're expanding the database, continuing to work with Smithsonian on the Coastal Carbon Atlas, which makes all those data, our data plus others' data, really easy to find and to use. Contributing to a national methane emissions modeling with those guys, and also doing database synthesis and other publications. Switch. And now that we're sort of getting to the point where we have the data, we will have them in a few minutes, in a few years. We're really starting to think about how we work in natural climate solutions initiatives. And there's a couple of examples here on the screen that we're working on. So very excited about getting to that point with the working group. Switch. And there's my contact information if you have any questions about the project.